Good morning, this is day 118 on my hike along the Pacific Crest Trail from Mexico to Canada. I'm still in my tent getting a later start, but I had to capture this beautiful sunrise. Kind of looks smoky out there, and I maybe smell a little bit of something. Yeah, I think I smell like smoke fire. That looks very smoky, so there might be like a new one. I just looked on Watch Duty. I see a new one, maybe a rabbit fire or something, right? Or there's another one that says it's 10% contained, but it doesn't really say much beyond that. So I don't know, those three French hikers just passed me, so they're ahead of me. That should be interesting. Good morning, it is 7:20. I'm taking my first steps on the PCT. That is on 100% smoke. I just had to get out from my campsite. It's possible it's like blowing down from like the Emigrant Fire, which is northwest of Crater Lake. Like I'm not that far away from Crater Lake. I have every intention and plan of hitting Crater Lake today. So I have 24.5 miles to get to Mazama campground, which is in Crater Lake National Park. I have a package waiting for me there. I'll charge my devices, get on the Wi-Fi, upload some videos, and probably camp there for the night, maybe shower. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to monitor. I do feel like I smell a little bit. I do definitely smell a little bit of smoke too. I have my buff that I can use to kind of, it's certainly not like an M95 or whatever, but it can still filter out some things. I used it at Burning Man last year for most of the time, but sometimes it'd have like a proper mask underneath it. Anyways, I have a little later start today. I think I mentioned it's 7:20. Just really hard for me to get out of bed today. I was just feeling sore. Like my knee is feeling good actually at the moment. My shin's feeling good, but my ankles, my calves, my toes, my Achilles, my plantar, just kind of in general. And this is not what I call pain. It's just sore. I mean, I've done basically 80 miles in 3 days, and I got a new pack, new shoes. I'm really liking these shoes so far. I think I might have found what works good for me, so I'm really optimistic about that, but still want to withhold a final judgment for a few days. If they're good still in like 3-4 days, I think I'll order a second pair and have them sent ahead to Washington. But yeah, it's day 118. See you down the line. Okay, I just pulled up Watch Duty and measured. There's a new fire 17 miles due west of Crater Lake. Not Crater Lake National Park, like the actual lake, which is obviously a big part, the main part of the national park. Just happened. It says the icon at least indicates it's new within the last 24 hours. So that could be where this is coming from, or it could be coming down from the Emigrant Fire, which is a ways north of Crater Lake and to the west a bit. And it's getting quite close to the trail, so I'm really worried about that one. But that's a problem for 2 days from now. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I can definitely, after a while, you kind of can sense the smoke. So I just figured I'd put this on for now. But you can really, even in the background there, you can kind of see it. It's harder to see right in front of you, but it's there. So according to Watch Duty, there's really not much for me to worry about right now. Obviously, it could just be blowing how the wind's in the valley and coming from even far away. But unlikely, I think, because I think there's a lot of, obviously everyone's on high alert right now, but the one risk is that there's some fire that hasn't been tagged and reported yet, which would show up in Watch Duty. That's a lot closer. So, and you can see smoke on both sides here. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it, but definitely back to being vigilant. I'm a mile in, going all uphill so far. This is not just for show. I've tried taking it off like 3 or 4 times. I take 1 or 2 breaths and immediately put it back on. But it makes it a lot harder. My heart rate's only 125 to 130, but I'm breathing so hard. I think that's Mount McLaughlin. It's been a nice little climb to start the morning. My shin is probably a 1 out of 10. My knee is a 1 out of 10. Could not be more grateful for that. Hopefully that stays. The rest of my knees down are quite sore, but that's okay. I'll take sore. Sore is okay. Got the bandana on still. I mean, you can see the smoke basically on both sides. Like, you don't see it right in front of your face, but it's there, because the second I like take this off, I want to put it back on immediately. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but here you can see the smoke a lot closer, and it's been here the whole time. It's just how it works. Like, further away, there's gonna be more to obstruct the view, I think, and kind of in a line of sight, more dense in that sense. But yeah, I am walking through light smoke. The smell is kind of obviously like if someone were kind of grilling, but it also has that, like, I'd most describe it as like a brick oven pizza, like fire brick oven pizza type smell. Something that's presumably quite obvious and apparent, however, I've never explicitly pointed it out. Vlogging slows me down. Like, I'm pretty good at this point, I think, of like kind of multitasking, walking, filming, but undoubtedly when I'm filming, it slows me down. I don't have trekking poles in both hands. I'm holding 2 in one hand, like, and sometimes I'll stop to take videos or pictures. So just, it's not crazy amount, but it's definitely enough where, you know, someone who's not vlogging is not going to be getting slowed down the way I am 60 times a day. And I say 60 times because when I make these videos, the average amount of clips in one day's of video of the last like couple months is probably about 60 to 70. So that's the amount of times I'm taking my phone out, filming, multitasking. Another thing it smells like is like those spits they use to like sear meat for like tacos and stuff. It just reminds me of when I was living in Tulum, Mexico, and I would, you know, ride through on the scooter through town, and it would just be like street tacos, or really the spits on the street for restaurants where they have like all the meat on a stick and it just slowly turns. Kind of smells like that vibe. It's good for a little bit, but definitely not healthy to be breathing in, and kind of nauseating after a few minutes. It's definitely a little eerie of a feeling. Also kind of reminds me of the Smoky Mountains out east, but obviously very different here with what's going on. So that's a false comfort I need to get rid of that connotation quickly. Looks like my French friends in a Sobo up there. Get some info on this fire. Well, nice man heading southbound just informed me the smoke is all from the emigrant fire, so no danger aside from breathing in the smoke. It's like a ways northwest of Crater Lake even, but the wind's changed, so it's all coming down this way now. Sounds like he wasn't aware of that new one that I saw pop up on watch duty, rabbit fire, directly west of Crater Lake, but this is from emigrant fire. That's when I'm really worried about closures, because the trail, I've been saying from the beginning, it was starting to get closer and closer to the trail. So we'll see, one day at a time. So Maurice, Dominique, and Jean. this is cool, and I don't mean the fire or the smoke, but there's just a moment I had where I was like, yeah, it was just a positive, happy moment. Like, this is why I'm out here, just the adventure, just kind of looking ahead, seeing people walking down this path, knowing how far we've come to get here, so how far we have to go. I don't know how to explain it, but I had a moment, and I'll take as many of those moments as I can get, because I've had so many to the contrary, as we know. Like, maybe the better way to put it is not, this is cool, but it was more like, I'm doing it. Like, it just kind of hit me, like, I'm doing it. We're doing this. 1,800 miles in, just hit or about to hit. Came over the peak here, just beautiful, beautiful ridgeline, or backdrop. This has a unique vibe from what I've seen the rest of the trail, especially deep there in the distance. With this here, this is the Cascades, but very cool. It's not as smoky on the other side of that ridgeline after I crossed that peak, so I don't have my mask on anymore. And it's a little cool vibe with the green. A couple streams we passed already. It was nice to get the picture up top with Maurice, John, and Jean, and Dominique. That was really cool. One of them commented and said it almost looked kind of like Japan to them. Like, there was some unique, distinct feel. I don't know if the smoke had something to do with it, but felt kind of, yeah, I guess a little different. Maybe the Asian continent or something. It's just really cool. Well, got 22 miles to go, so got some time. So figured it's a good time to dress this. So I've been to Crater Lake before. I'm super excited to come back. When I was in between jobs in 2017, and by say in between, like I literally had 4 weeks off. Like, I had a job lined up and I left my job on good terms, and I pushed at both ends to get a little time. I went with my then wife to Europe for 2 weeks. We went to London and Paris, which was awesome, and that trip was paid for because I actually won a March Madness bracket with like hundreds if not thousands of entries. And I was getting home, I was working in investment banking, I was super tired. It was like 5 in the morning. I was really cranky because I hadn't slept. I'd been working all night, and my bracket was like filled out through the Elite Eight, and I was so tired I wasn't going to do it. And then last minute I just decided to finish filling it out. And I ended up getting all 4 of the final 4 right. I got the final 2 right. I think it was Duke versus Wisconsin. And I believe I had Duke winning by like 5 points. It was like exactly what happened. So I won a week all-inclusive trip to, this was sponsored by like some company that we were a client of, as were all the other banks. So everyone was involved in it. But it was a week to the Dominican Republic all-inclusive. Or you could get like 5 or 6 grand of cash and plan your own trip. So took the cash, and my wife at the time planned out a trip to London and Paris, which was awesome. But then I got back and I had 2 weeks on my own. So I rented a car. I rented a Mustang convertible. It was, I still remember, it was like $900 some. It was under $1,000 to rent it for 2 weeks. And I picked it up in LA, dropped it off in Seattle, and drove up the coast. So as part of that trip, I stopped at Crater Lake National Park, and I'm very grateful for growing up into a lot of cool nature and national parks with my family. And this one definitely stands out because it's the clearest water in the world. I'm pretty confident of that. I remember that. I can fact check, and it's like measured by like the naked eye. Like, they literally take knots, like how they used to measure speed of a vessel traveling, like knots in a rope. And however many you can see with the naked eye down, that's how they test this stuff. And it's supposed to be like the clearest water in the world. So it was really cool. I remember stopping there, pumped to go. Now, when I get there, the PCT, there's an alternate route that I'm going to take. And here's why I'm okay taking the alternate route. First of all, it used to be the official PCT route for a while. This isn't like shortcutting stuff. It was the PCT, and they changed it and moved the PCT further out west. So it doesn't actually, this alternate I'm going to take you climb up and then you go around the rim of Crater Lake, which is gonna be awesome. This alternate goes like further out west. And they did that because horses weren't able to climb up. And it's technically an equestrian trail as well. And the horses couldn't get up. So while the official PCT now is longer, the former route to the PCT, which is now called the alternate, that actually goes up the rim of Crater Lake, is much, much harder. Because you have the steepest climb more than anything in Oregon, and kind of rivals the Sierras. But definitely worth it in my mind. So the reason I'm okay with it is, one, this was the PCT for hikers, and they moved the official PCT because it's technically supposed to be for horses too, and in a lot of parts of it, if not all of it. I mean, everywhere I've seen it says horses and people. So it's really like the hiker part was this and is this. So most people do it, like that are traditionalists do this part because it was the PCT. And then two, it's pretty unequivocally agreed upon that it's harder than the PCT. Even though the PCT is longer, that's just one metric. My litmus test is it taking an easy way out? And this is not. It's going to be more challenging and harder. Very, very intense climb to get up there, but I think it will be very much worthwhile. So that will be a tomorrow thing, but very much my plan, and looking forward to actually hiking around the rim. I just ate a berry, which I don't even want to say I'm confident it was a huckleberry. I think there's a chance it was a huckleberry. It tasted great. And the leaves kind of reminded me of what someone showed me. But hopefully I don't get sick. I don't know if poisonous berries would taste bad. That tasted great. I think these are huckleberries. I'm hoping they are because I ate them. Well, I'm quite confident they're huckleberries at this point from how many I've eaten and just what I know of them. But I've eaten like 20 of these. They're delicious. Best part, unlike the blackberries, there's no thorns. So easier to collect. I'll tell you, when you're having processed, packaged food all day, every day, and then getting to towns, and pretty much all these small towns mostly have like one cafe or something, and it's just like burgers. There's nothing like fresh fruit or like vegetables, but not just fresh fruit, like right off the bush fresh. Huckleberries, foraging huckleberries right now. I just probably ate 30 to 40. It was delicious. So good. And it's such a nice pick-me-up. Just walked by some other people foraging, so they are definitely huckleberries. I was quite sure of that after I had a few and kept going and identified the leaves, but now I would say I'm essentially positive. And they are delicious. Kind of a smaller berry though. So I probably had, 30 to 40. And I would, like I said, I would keep eating. I just gotta keep moving. Well, so far I'm about 5 miles in. The knee and shin are holding up. Given what I put my body through these last 3 days, plus now, like I'm so grateful for how the shin is. Obviously the knee came up. I might have gotten a little over worried about it a little too soon. It was right on that cusp. But I mean, it's definitely not, it's better for sure, but there's still something there. I feel it in almost every step, but it's very faint. So hopefully it's just growing pains with the new shoes. But I mean, I was debilitated, or not debilitated, but to the point where I needed painkillers to keep moving. Thankfully, I'm not at that point now. I hope it stays that way. But regarding my shin, man, could not have asked for it to go better overall. I just hope it stays that way. I do feel it the tiniest bit when I walk right now. Give it like a 1.5 out of 10 or so. So nothing crazy at all. I just saw my first trail sign for Crater Lake National Park at a junction. I think I'm gonna have to grab some water here. I still haven't drank much, so I have most of the liter I started with, but this is like It'll last for a while, at least 7 miles to some pond that's a little sketchy, but I think I'll use it. This looks pretty stagnant as well. So I have just under 7 miles to the next water source, which is a pond or two off trail. And I looked, and the elevation for that part is pretty flat, which is great. I had a stretch like that yesterday too. Wasn't as easy as I thought because there was a lot of rocks in the way. They're just wearing out too, but I think I came to a nice cleaner stretch here. So I'm hoping this goes smoothly, quickly, a nice kind of second segment of my morning. Well, there's a bit more of a climb in there than I appreciated, about 780 feet. So just got through that, and now I've got about 1.5 miles to get to a little bit off trail, these ponds, which will be the next water refill. And the terrain topography changed dramatically and drastically. I just combined those words accidentally. Clearly a burn zone, not recent, but very weird to feel exposed right now because it's been pretty foresty since Ashland. I just did a 7-mile water carry to get here, and I have to do a 14-mile water carry out of here, which means this pond, there's one next to it that's almost completely dry, is all that stands within 22 miles of PCT, and I'm ways off trail right now, and it's gonna be hard to collect. I think I'm gonna try to stand on those logs there or something. I could be missing something here, but I don't see anywhere to collect this. It's super shallow. I think I last tried out recently, so I'm literally taking my shoes and socks off. I'm gonna like get in there and scoop up water. I forgot about Crater Lake, so that's in 12 miles, so I'll just get water there, but it's still kind of a long carry. And it's hot. I gotta clean myself up. That's why I was looking it up. I'm gonna use some of this little water I got to clean up my feet. They're all muddy. Yeah, I was sinking into the mud up to like here. It's pretty crazy. So I just looked at Emigrant Fire has expanded like crazy. Last I knew when I left Ashland, it expanded to 5,000 acres, and now it's showing 19,000. And that's like 35 miles or so. That's an estimate based on the map that I was looking at, north and a little bit west of Crater Lake, which the PCT runs pretty close to that. It's currently west of the PCT, but yeah, that thing, it keeps expanding. It's probably going to get shut down. Don't call it a comeback. I got 4 more miles done since that pond, so I stopped here for lunch. I'm 16.6 miles in on the day, having classic salami with cheddar cheese and a tortilla. No sauce or anything, but maybe I'll start adding some. And I realized this weekend is Labor Day weekend, and Crater Lake's probably a very popular place, I'd imagine this time. It's late summer. I could camp there at this campground, but maybe I'll try to get my stuff, charge my devices, upload a few videos, and then get back on trail. That's a tall order, and do my resupply. I have a package there, so I don't have to shop. I just have to kind of put the stuff, kind of get it ready to go, but it might be possible. I'll have to really kind of see what the deal is when I get there. Okay, it's just after 3 o'clock. I just finished a very quick lunch, so it's probably a really short one one of the shortest I've ever taken, just because I took a little bit longer at that water source earlier at the pond. So only 30-minute lunch. I have 8.2 miles to get to a highway that I can then head into to get to Mazama, and there's like a trail to get out. Mazama is the campground in Crater Lake National Park. So those are not PCT miles, but so I've got 8.2 to get to the side trail, which is probably like a mile or so. I'm a little tired, but I'm grateful, a little sore too, but grateful overall for how my body's holding up. My knee was acting up earlier, And I did take some ibuprofen and Tylenol, but I haven't had to take any since. Hopefully that remains the case. Okay, I'll see you all in a bit. It's been burn zone for probably the last 6-7 miles. Like that, starting to transition out of it, it looks like. Entering Crater Lake National Park, Pacific Crest Trail, permit required for camping. It's the 5th national park on the trail I've been in. So there's Kings Canyon, Sequoia, Yosemite, Lassen, and now Crater Lake, which I've been to before. Got like 5.5 miles to go. I can see this register. So my where I gravity filtered down into the ever new 2-liter bottle, like my clean bottle, it's ripping in 2 places, so the water's not staying. So I'm probably gonna end up tossing that. I would totally buy a new one if I could, but I don't know if I'll find one on trail, and it might be kind of hard ordering one. So I had to take the clean water that I already filtered earlier, put it back into the dirty bladder, and not have to refilter it again, just to be safe. So I'm gonna take a little break anyways. It's fun looking through the register when my water's, I end up squeezing the second half of it, but it was a good little break. All right, meaning I gravity filtered half and then I finished it out. 5 miles to go to get to the trail that'll take me into Mazama, which is like parallels the road basically, like a highway. All right, I'm coming up to Highway 62. It should be about just under 25 trail miles. And now I'm going to there's some trail around here to get into Mazama Village. So these are not PCT miles, but I have to do it to get my resupply box and charge up my devices and stuff like that. So see y'all in a bit. That was actually a parking lot. This is Highway 62 here. And there's the PCT. Here's the side trail I'm gonna take to get into town. It's called Mazama Village. It's like a campground area within Crater Lake National Park. So this is an example where I will be not stepping on less than a mile of the PCT, but that's because I am walking the way this is how I always look at it, is the route I'm taking making it easier. And if it's not making it easier, it's harder. Usually that means longer, but it could mean steeper, and I'm good with it. And in this case, I'm gonna walk a little over a mile this way into the town, and then walk probably like 2 miles back or something on a different trail that'll hit back to the PCT. So there'd be a little bit in between, less than a mile of PCT that I'm not going to step on, but I am walking over double that length to get there. So that's where I'm like, there's people who would come back and like make sure they stepped in the exact spot they crossed the road in. Like, no, my just point is I'm doing this whole thing without cheating, without making it harder or making it easier on myself. This is a steep side trail that came off the highway to get to a trail that'll take me straight to town. I literally just stood there for like 6 cars to go by before I could cross. Mazama Village. It is absolutely slammed. Labor Day weekend, it's Saturday. I don't think I'm gonna want to stay here. I think I'm gonna want to get my stuff and get back on trail. It's like, way overwhelming, honestly. There's cars everywhere, people everywhere. So that is Annie's Creek or something. Annie's Creek, where it's a restaurant. So I'll hopefully be able to grab a dinner there before I get out of here. And I think this is the general store where my package hopefully is. I've heard some get lost and it's hard here, but I literally called and got the exact address and really made sure this was right. And I see some packages up there, so hopefully mine is in here. And it made it. I got my package, and then I just took a quick shower, and I'm charging my devices. I think I'm gonna stay here because they're actually not allowed to camp on the rim trail, like the alternate, which I'm gonna take. So I think I'm just gonna camp here and get up early. Okay, it is 9 o'clock. I am outside the general store here in Mazama Village in Crater Lake National Park. The store just closed. I left, thankfully no one messed with it all, but I left all my stuff here, including my 2 battery banks charging, my phone charging, and uploading a video. So I just uploaded day 115. It took like 3 hours, but it's over an hour video. That was a long one. Had a lot of thoughts coming out of rehab. But I think instead of camping here, I'm just gonna get back on trail and camp on trail and just be there. So I'm gonna have to do a little night hiking now. It's not my favorite, really don't like it, but I think it was a very efficient stop overall. I showered, I had a meal, I charged my devices and power banks, and I got a video uploaded. So I would have liked to gotten 2 more uploaded, but I'm not gonna sit here and do that now, even though I could probably sit outside, even though they're closed, and get the Wi-Fi to work. So I'll just try to get a few more miles on the trail, and then I'm gonna take the Crater Lake Rim alternate tomorrow, most likely, and it's gonna be a long day. I've got it's like 85 miles to my next resupply, so I've got 4 days of food or so, and a liter of water, so it's definitely a heavier pack. It's gonna be a tough climb tomorrow with that weight, but I've definitely done harder, so I will see you all then. All right, busy even at night here on the road. So I just got off the highway. That's where I walked in on the highway earlier, so I'm back here, and now I'm gonna take this Annie Spring Spur Trail to get back to the PCT. I think this is the right move. It's like if I had to set up camp anyways, like why go to a crowded campsite at that in Mazama Village when I can just get back to trail. Dang, this pack's heavy and it's quite a climb. When I sent all these boxes, I thought I had more time. That was pre-injury, pre-shin splints. So I sent it for 25-mile days. But like, I need to be doing more than that. But now it's a little circular because now I have the weight for 25-mile days, but I still need to be doing more. So I don't know, I might in the future have to ditch some food at next resupplies. But now I'm stuck with what I got. I have a lot of calories in me for 85 miles. I'm still on this side trail climb. I'm pretty tired. Like, I had to stop to catch my breath. A lot of weight, very steep. But also I'm sleepy tired. I've yawned like 3 times. My body is very confused. It's used to be being horizontal at this hour, 9:30 p.m. I'm always fascinated with the night creatures. The thing is, about 1 3/4 inches from tail to head. All right, it's 9:40. I got myself back on the PCT. I'm gonna just camp right there. I knew about these sites. There are more than a few miles, but like, I don't want to throw off my schedule too much. I'm gonna camp here and live to fight another day. I'm pleased with how today went, all things considered. For dinner, I had a bison burger, and I had onion rings and chicken wings, and that was really good. And 1 beer, just 1. And I literally didn't even have my phone with me. I couldn't take a video of it anyways because I had it sitting in the general store charging, or not charging. Well, it was, but uploading. So, all right, this has been day 118. I will see you all tomorrow. There's the moon peeking out.